do that so it doesn't give us any reverb coming back.
I got you. All right, it'll all be coming on soon here.
All right, we are live. So yes, we are up and ready.
All right, let me go ahead and get our intro and we'll get going.
Good.
All right.
Hi, this is Ivan from Men Without Hats, and you're listening live from Nashville to the D&D Dynamite 80s podcast with DC and DH.
Live from Nashville, Tennessee, you are listening to the D&D Dynamite 80s podcast with your hosts, DC and DH. So guys, take it away. All right. Welcome in to extra show this week, huh?
Yes. We're going to get another one rolling here. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of D&D Dynamite 80s. I'm DH.
Hey, I am DC.
Hey, DC, well, we just found out how your week been, so I guess how was your day?
School is out.
About a day
so
over. Yeah,
things are awesome.
You're rocking. Well, I'm rocking.
Teachers are ready for the summer, that's for sure. So we wrapped up a 2-hour day today, and it's all good.
Must be nice. I still have about 9 days left, so rocking the Orange Day. Lady Vols playing in the World Series this weekend.
Man. Yeah,
but man, awesome. I am so excited about this one. This is an amazing guest. So without any further ado,
just unreal.
I'm gonna send it over to you for the introduction.
Yeah, absolutely. We are honored to have just iconic person in the entertainment world. Melissa Manchester joining us this afternoon, and we appreciate you taking time, and it is an honor to have you.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Well, thank you. I'm delighted to be with you both. Thanks. My pleasure.
I've got you've heard this in tons and tons of interviews, I know, but I've read a little background about this, but I'm interested in getting your feedback about it. Mm-hmm. But when you started out, you were in a young age. So tell me about the influence at a young age that you had from your father and so on.
Well, I was raised in a very musical family. My father was a bassoonist with the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra. So when they couldn't find a babysitter, I went to dress rehearsals with him. And and my mother was a pioneer in the fashion industry. So my sister and I were raised in a very festive version of normal. We lived in the Bronx, and then we moved down to Manhattan, which was sort of the perfect pace of a place for me. Yeah. I guess I was an energetic kid. I was just curious. I loved the spirit of creativity because it was all around the house. And there was just so much accessibility to theater and to things to do for a teenager in those years. There were incredible programs for city kids that were headed by the Department of Parks. So you could be part of street theater at the age of 15.
Wow.
It was really remarkable. It was a very vital city at that time, not without problems, but certainly very vital, lots of outlets. And then I became a jingle singer when I was 15.
Right.
And I started songwriting when I was 17. I got the opportunity to study songwriting with Paul Simon, which was just amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when I started doing jingles, that's where I met Barry Manilow. He was a jingle singer too.
Wow.
And he was the new music director for Bette Midler, and that's how I met Bette.
One of the things, Melissa, you mentioned was your mom being a pioneer in the fashion industry. And if you really think about it, you were a pioneer really coming into the music genre. And back in the day when you were kind of opening those doors for future generations, did you ever think to yourself of the huge difference you were making in the music industry at that time?
I didn't, but I must say, because there were no mentors, because there were very few women. There were no women in the boardrooms. I was never auditioning for women. but you know, you in my experience, I sort of stumbled through, the music was always my companion, but I never thought of music as being of service to people. I had no idea about that. And when I first started playing in clubs and people would start to reflect back to me what how a song helped them, and I thought, what is a song? What does that mean? And you start to realize that first of all, a song creates a world that did not exist before you wrote it. And that's a lot. And when people tell you how their songs helped them or illuminated something or galvanized a group of people or helped people not commit suicide, I mean, or serenaded them down the bridal path. I mean, it was just it it was humbling, but it forced you to sort of shift gears to see that while the act of creating is a solo experience, the walk you are walking, if you are trying to be an artist, is can be impactful to other people that you've never met that suddenly you know. So that was really interesting.
And one of the things I want to ask too is why do you think there's so many iconic female artists that come out of the
Mm.
80s? What changed in that time frame that kind of, I mean, I know like you were opening doors for folks, but I mean, what kind of changed in the industry in general?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that's a really good question and an important question because um, the 70s into the 80s were sort of the last holdout for for popular music that was melodically driven.
Mhm.
Because at the beginning of the 80s, records started to become percussively driven first because of the advent of discos. And disco music created a whole new wrinkle on the landscape. And what it did in terms of the construction of a song is it shortened the phrases, and therefore phrases could be just repeated and repeated and repeated, and you didn't really need to develop ideas melodically or lyrically because of that change in the construction. So, and the effect that that had, I believe, was that people then ended up with shorter attention spans. However, to answer your question about female singers, I in those days, for the convention for making records for females in those days, it was true for me, it was true for Whitney Houston, it was true for a lot of people, was start loud and high and go from there. It was craziness.
Yeah.
I used to have discussions with Alita Adams and sometimes with Whitney Houston, and those girls came out of the church, and so they were used to that kind of rigor. And I I was used to the performances of Ella Fitzgerald and Judy Garland. I mean, those were my North Stars. So those women had huge voices, but they could dial it down to, like a lullaby.
Mm.
And their arrangements were, they were big band or orchestral arrangements. So
right.
it was different. But yes, that's part of the reason the 80s was sort of this pivotal moment in the record industry because of disco and because of electronics.
Mm.
Suddenly, producers had all kinds of new toys to play with, and it changed the shape of songs. It changed the possibility of productions because now you could create anything extraterrestrial sounding, spatial sound, underwater sound. I mean, bubbles coming out of a bottle sound. You could just
Right.
do anything. So really, the producers moved into the sort of artist realm because they could be so creative. It
Yeah.
was really, really interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, and one of the things kind of in the 80s that to me was with MTV coming along. So
Oh, yes.
not only did you have to have the voice, but you had to have the personality, the persona. And how did you develop all that? Did that come natural, or was it kind of like you had to
Some
create
work to
this
that.
stage? Yes.
Everybody had to pivot. I did the very first MTV commercial, and yep, there were a bunch of us, about 4 or 5 artists, and you can find it on YouTube, I think. MTV was a whole new concept. Videos was a whole new concept.
Yeah.
Prior to that moment, it was just about listening. It was just about buying an album and reading the literature, looking at the photos, comparing credits. That was the event. Suddenly it wasn't just singles. Now it was singles that came with a video. And what did that mean? And what did that do to imagination?
Right.
Did it enhance the experience? Did it diminish the experience? And how did that affect record companies that were still, signing with a record company was still the name of the game.
Mm.
And so it created this whole new component where telling your song story, not just through lyric and melody, but cinematically, it just blew up everything. And it was really, it was kind of its own new industrial age, because
Yeah.
it was the mechanics that we were used to plus new components. So it created textures, and suddenly there were performers that only realized their stuff through video. Were only posting videos. They didn't even make records yet. It was wild.
Mm.
It created a new marketplace. Um, and, fast forward when I was teaching as an adjunct professor at the USC Thornton School of Music, my students who were young singer-songwriters, they would come in with CDs with shrink wrap and nice photographs and credits. And I would be very impressed and say, did you sign with a record company that I haven't heard about? They said, no, this is all about crowdfunding. You should do that too. And there was a new marketplace,
Yes.
20, 40 years hence. So it is wild how things have evolved. But then when my daughter was in college, and she brought home a vinyl, and I broke out my
Yes.
record player, and she
Yeah.
sat and watched it go round and round like she was discovering fire and the wheel. So
Yeah.
it's just
Right.
it's
Yes.
wild.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. And it's really funny because not only records, but I see kids now and like the shirt off the shoulder and the colors are coming back. It's like, these
Oh yeah.
trends just keep coming back around. So it's like,
Oh, for sure, for sure.
as
The thing though, in the 80s that was really interesting was that disco and disco music and all things disco adjacent were creating new platforms for anthems.
Oh.
Gloria
yes.
Gaynor's I Will Survive,
Yeah.
all of that, the AIDS epidemic. It was creating new platforms for messages that you could dance to get out. So that was interesting
Mm.
too.
And
Yeah.
and I love things of the 80s coming back. As long as DC doesn't bring back his parachute pants,
No
we're good.
parachute
So,
pants. That's right.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
back. They're back. They're
That's
now called
right.
balloon or barrel pants. Sorry, too
right.
late.
Right. That's
DC,
right.
you're not allowed to bomb and wear them,
Right.
so it's
No, no,
okay.
no. No worries. You don't have to worry about that. No, let me ask you this. When you're doing your performance, do you ever, and I'd love to ask this of guests, do you get tired of the hits singing them since you've sung them so much? Does it get
Um,
old to do that for the fans, or how do you
no, not
approach
for
that?
not for me. Not for
Okay.
me. I consider my hits real gifts,
Sure.
and because I've written some of them, I've known the people who gifted me with those songs. Um, I'm so humbled
Mm.
by the journey. I've been doing this 53 years now.
Wow.
It turned into a job of the future. Imagine that.
Right.
That's
And
right.
and I and as I was mentioning before, these songs have meant so much to people,
Yes.
Yes.
way beyond any my imagining. And my gratitude is, walks in the door with me or walks onto the stage with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I never get bored. I also find these songs as sort of living monologues. I understand
Ah,
these songs so
yeah.
much more than when I wrote them or recorded them such a long time ago. It's funny about You Should Hear How She Talks About You, for instance, which I won the Grammy for.
Right.
When it was such a change for me, because in that moment I had been known as a balladeer, but Tom Snow and Dean Pitchford sent me this song, and I did it with the great Arif Mardin producing, and we won the Grammy. And I thought to myself, my ego thought to itself, how are we going to grow old singing this song? How's that going to work? And so I came up with a different arrangement. I did sort of a Steely Dan version of it, which was kind of cool, but missing the point entirely. Then I put it away for a minute. And then I just thought to myself, why are you looking this gift horse in the mouth? Just say thank you and move along. And and so of course I do it all the time now, and I do it with a wonderful video, and I start the laughter and the audience laughs with me, and it's jolly fun. And yes, I'm forever grateful for that.
and
Yeah.
and that's one of the things, Melissa, I want to say to you is, number one, the songs are iconic, but the songs in today's world, and you continuing to sing those songs,
Mhm.
you give people, excuse me, a chance to go to a better time in
Mhm.
life. Excuse me,
Reminisce.
I got
Yeah,
choked.
about
Yes,
those
to
great times.
reminisce
Yeah.
and to
Which
think
we
back
need. Yeah.
and enjoy those times again. So
Yeah.
that is such a great gift that you share. So I want to thank you
Yeah.
for
What a
that.
gift.
You're very welcome.
Absolutely.
You.
Yeah.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Totally Cool 80s, Tammy joined in. She said, "Hey guys, I'm traveling today. Melissa, is there a song in your catalog that you think deserved to be a bigger hit than it was?"
Ah, good
Oh,
question.
sure. You never know why things work or don't work. I'm in a state of shock when things work out. I'm in a state of shock when things don't work out. I'm always shocked. You never know. When Midnight Blue first came out, it was the tail end of the disc jockey oriented radio station. It was right moments before computerized programming
Mm,
for radio stations, which
okay.
changed the complexion of
Yes.
radio from coast to coast. So, um, I, yes, I mean, there are songs, but as they say in the record industry, the only thing harder than the first hit is the second hit. So,
Yes.
I will refrain from giving a name to the answer, but thank you for asking.
And that was Tammy from Totally Cool 80s, one of our dear
Yeah.
friends of the show.
Right.
She's done so much for us, Tammy Dever. So we really appreciate it, Tammy, and safe
Hi,
travels while
Tammy.
you're out
Glad you're
there.
joining
Thank
in
you.
today.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes. So talk to us about some of the projects you have going on now.
Well, this has been a wildly interesting time. I I am about to start rehearsals for a musical called Cagney about Jimmy Cagney, and you really don't have to know anything about Jimmy Cagney, who was a huge Hollywood star in from the 30s to the 60s. Um, it's a musical. It's being done at the Bay Street Theater in Sag Harbor, Long Island, New York, starting June 30th for about 3 weeks. It's part of their summer program with Bobby Creighton, who created the show. It's a lot of tap dancing. It's a lot of George M. Cohan music, some original songs, and I play his ma. So I will be Ma Cagney with a bit of a brogue, and yeah. And I just finished uh, several months ago. I finished the first national tour of the musical Funny Girl, where I
Yeah.
played Mrs. Bryce, the
Yep.
the mother of Fanny Bryce. I love all of these adventures because it's not what I usually do. I'm
Right.
usually me on a stage, and I just finished an East Coast tour of my one woman show called 50 Threads. But earlier this year, I had a debut of a woodwind trio that I had composed called The
Wow.
Sweet By and By and By. And if you're a church person at all, you remember that gospel tune,
Yes.
Sweet By and By.
Yes.
Sure.
Well,
Yes.
welcome. Thank you. You're the other person who recognized the tongue in
Yes.
cheek of the title.
Yes.
And it's a three movement suite for bassoon, flute, and clarinet. And earlier, last July, I had a debut of a concerto that I composed for piano and orchestra
Wow.
at the Evermore Music Festival. So it's a plus I'm a grandma, so it's a very rich and beautiful time.
Yes, that is, and being a grandparent, I can tell you that is the most amazing thing. I have
Yes, it
5,
is.
and I tell my kids all the time, if I knew how much fun grandkids would have, I would have had them first instead of the kids.
Yes.
Tammy has timed in with another great question. Is
Sure.
there an artist from the past you'd still like to do a collaboration with?
Wow.
Oh, sure. I would love to do a collaboration with Michael McDonald or James Taylor. Um, there are lots. I think young Samara Joy is stupendous. I'd love to do something with John Batiste.
Hmm.
The ancient ones that I grew up with. Yeah, I would have loved to have done something with Ella. I made a Memorex commercial with her, but I did not get a chance
Wow.
to sing with her or Judy Garland or Tony Bennett or Sinatra. I tried with some of them, but it just didn't work out. But in this moment, and on my 25th album called Review, I got a
Wow.
chance to re-record several of my hits because, as you know, many of us artists don't own our masters. And so these are the attempts to own our masters, not reinventing these songs. For me, they're basically the same. Although one thing I didn't do, per song, there are no fades. Everything
Ah,
ends
Wow.
because
Okay.
that's what you do on stage,
right.
and it allows the listener to
Yeah.
breathe. And I got a chance to re-record Midnight Blue as a duet with Dolly Parton, which
Oh,
just was
wow.
spectacular.
That is
And I
fantastic.
finally, after 45 years, got a chance to record the song I wrote with Kenny Loggins, Whenever I Call You Friend.
Wow.
And I did the arrangement for it, and it was great. It was just great. I had sent it to his manager to get to him, and I really wanted to rethink this. I didn't want to recreate what he had done with Stevie Nicks, and I didn't hear from him for about 2 weeks. So one night I just texted him and I said, let me know if you're in or out because it's the last track. I need to get to it, and if you're out, that's fine. If you're in, that's fine. So he texted me back and he said, "Why don't you send it to me?" And I texted him back. I said, "You've had it for 2 weeks." He said, "Just a minute." Just a minute. And he got back to me in 10 minutes and he said, "I love it. I'm in." And we had a
That's
great time.
awesome.
Yeah. And both of those videos are on YouTube and all the other platforms. So it's lovely.
That is awesome.
That is
It's,
great.
my thing, you've had such a storied career and such an amazing career, but I still see the joy in your
Passion.
expression and the passion when you're talking
Absolutely.
about it. And that is amazing for the time span that you've been doing this to continue to have that passion.
No doubt you love it.
So
Yeah.
yes.
I do. This artist life, which is very rigorous and not
Hmm.
for anybody, it's a good fit for me. And quite frankly, because as you get older, you're just sort of more aware of things. My spirit is not terribly interested in how old I am. It just wants to do things and play. So it's just looking for things to
That's
do.
great.
see, I need that energy. My
Yeah.
spirit's more
Yeah. We
interested in
need
a
to know how to,
recliner at
right?
time.
Yeah.
It's like,
Do that.
oh,
Yeah, I'm a curious person, I guess. And when my mind, I've always described my mind as a kind of a pet. It's just always sniffing around, and if it gets an
Right.
idea, if it gloms onto an idea and starts to sniff and will not let go of it, I recognize in my actual body this is something that is urging to be expressed,
Yeah.
and so to follow that down. And I had read, the author Elizabeth Gilbert, who
yes.
wrote Eat, Pray, and Love. Yeah,
Hmm.
she wrote this this book a couple of years ago called Big Magic about the creative process. And she wrote something so interesting towards the end of it. She said, when you're graduating from high school or college and the guest speaker says, follow your passion. Well, most 18 or 22-year-olds don't know what their passion is.
Right.
So, and she said,
That's true.
follow your curiosity, because your curiosity can often lead you to that passion that you didn't even realize you had.
That you
And
have,
that's
yeah.
so true. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Great.
yeah.
It's just amazing because those are great words of advice. I
Yes, it
mean,
is.
that's the amazing part about this is the way you still continue to give back and encourage others.
Mm.
I mean, you know, I don't know if I had reached your heights and the things that you've done, I would like to think I would still be able to do that, but I don't know that I would still have that energy and that passion that you're showing. So
Yeah,
thank you for
yeah,
that. That is
yeah,
You're
amazing.
very
absolutely.
welcome. Thanks.
Let me ask about the songwriting part.
Sure.
I'm going to kind of steal one of DH's questions because it's a great question that he
Yeah.
asks from time to time.
Mhm.
When you're in the process of doing the songwriting process that you do, does it come easy or hard at times or frustrating or this might fit with another idea I have? How does it work for you?
Um, well, once I know what the idea is, somebody, when I was writing a lot in Nashville, one of my beautiful colleagues had said to me, songwriting is like peeling an onion from the inside.
Hmm.
You don't know what it is.
Hmm.
When you get the idea, I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's a title. I don't know if it's a remark made in the middle of the second verse. I just have to start digging away and seeing what it is, what the clue and the evidence is, what it is showing me. If I love the language of the idea, then I will sort of follow what it could possibly mean and who might actually be singing it and what that point of view is. You know, when I first started writing, I was 15 and I went into my parents' living room, which had my piano that I had practiced on, and I swore I'd never be in that living room again because I hated piano lessons. But I had friends that were young songwriters, and I used to sing their songs for publishers. And one day I came back to my parents' home, my living room where I lived, and I sat down at the piano and I started to write a song. And it was like I had discovered a second language. I could not stop writing.
Wow.
If you sneezed, it was a song. That's when you're a young writer and
Yeah.
you have no sense of discernment. You have no sense of editing. You just write because it feels so darn good. But many years later, like now, I have a sense of editing. I have a sense of sculpting language. I have a sense of sculpting a melody to service an idea.
Mm.
Because I still like long melodic ideas. I still like long lyrical ideas that develop into a point of view. I mean, I know all about percussive writing. I know all about, top line writing, which is
Hmm.
the mode today, and it's kind of interesting. But I still, for myself, I like to understand and explore and sort of emotionally excavate as much as I can so that by the time the song is done, I can feel that it's done.
Mm.
So it's a journey.
Journey. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let, let me ask about the music industry,
Mm-hmm.
the changes that you've seen over your career.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this on our show before of if you can take a person and they have the right look and following and all that, you can do miracles with them in a studio with computerized types of things these days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious about your opinion about that stuff.
Well,
Where the industry is kind of gone technology wise.
I mean, technology is, it's right next to lyrics and music. It's just in the
Yeah.
room. However, The only thing that has not really, not at its core changed is how do you hold an audience on stage?
Mm,
You either got it or you don't. And you can get a lot of help with it, and it can show up in many, many ways. But if you can't at some point with just a piano or just a guitar mesmerize your audience and compel them to lean into you, to listen a little harder, then it's all just bells and whistles
mm,
for me.
yeah.
Because what I know is at this point, because it's so hard to make a living as a writer, much harder than ever before. Um, uh, everything all being new again, you got to go out and play at clubs and sell your merch. And, if you can move up to small theaters or larger theaters or arenas, it's still that, on a certain level, you still got to do the meet and greet. But it's about how do you hold that audience? How do you keep them so intrigued by what you have to offer? And how do you make them feel so safe that they lean in to hear what you have to say? And then when it's all over, they will effectively come up to you and say, I did not realize anybody else thought this, but
Yeah.
you and your songs showed me that I'm not alone.
You know,
That stuff doesn't change. That never
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
and I think that's one of the things with you, the passion you have. That's what draws people in, because I know I've been to performances where you can tell they're just kind of going through the motions, and it's kind
Right,
of like
right,
you never really make that connection or get into
right.
it. But I think the passion you have is something, and that's something I don't think you can really teach. I think that's just
Well,
genuine.
yeah, well, it is, thank you. But the magic trick of that, the rabbit and the hat of that is, as an actor, every time you walk on that stage, it's as if you're telling your story for the first time. If you can
Mm,
hold on to that sort of psychic gear shift as if it's the first time you've never sung this song before, doesn't matter if you've sung it thousands of times, for that night, for that audience, in that moment, you've never done it before. And for me, that is honoring my audience
mm,
and creating the safe space for them, because this artist life is no fooling around. There's a spiritual component to it. It is absolutely rigorous physically. There are all kinds of dumb hazards that we all stumble into as young artists, and hopefully we learn as we get on in years. But there's that psychic, spiritual, safe place you want to provide for your audience so they can relax and
yeah.
enjoy, because so much of
Mm,
life is so hard.
mm,
And
Yes.
in your 90 minutes or your 2 hours or whatever, to just say, just relax. I have a story to tell you. Want to sing along? Sing along. Want to dance? Go ahead. Watch the videos, watch, don't, whatever. It's rare. It's rare to share that with a community, a bunch of people that you've never met before, but they know you somehow through your
yeah.
songs. It's really,
Sure.
it's really interesting. Yeah.
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 Wow.
And Melissa, I'm going to ask this: is there ever been a time where you were doing a show and you're either on stage or you're getting ready to, and you just look around and go, "Wow, I've really done this.
This is
This is like the
surreal.
most
Yeah.
amazing thing."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, all the time. The fact that people keep coming is kind of remarkable and dear. I think, when I went the first and the second time I was on the Academy Award show, and the first time I sang two songs back to back, and I was wearing my first Bob Mackie gown. I was wearing very high heels, and the director thought it'd be a really good idea if I walked down a flight of stairs with no banister.
Oh no!
Right.
I just kept, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall.
Right.
But Yeah, I mean, in those moments, and when I was on the first Live Aid worldwide televised show,
Yes.
that was, it was singular because it had never been done before. It was being watched all over the world at the same time. They would they would ask different people to host it while they were getting new acts on the stage, setting up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so they had asked me to MC to the world for about 10 minutes.
Wow.
And you had your earpiece on, and this was just when there were wireless phones. It was brand new. Cell phones were still huge. And anyway, so I had my earpiece on. I was talking to the world. I was about to announce the next artist, which may have been Queen or something like
Mhm.
that. And I heard in my earphone, stretch, stretch.
Oh,
And I have to stretch to the world. I have to just keep talking to the world. So I start to say hello to my nieces and discuss my childhood and how much fun it was to and I thought, yeah, that's large. That's big.
that's awesome.
Talking to billions of people. That was nuts.
Wow. I mean, could you imagine? You're like, I'm talking to the whole world, and here I am just gonna kind of, okay.
Wing it. Wing
Yeah.
it to the world.
Right.
Right.
That's awesome.
Speaking
That is
of
amazing.
TV stuff,
Yeah.
I had read where you had done General Hospital.
Yes, I had made an appearance on General Hospital way early in my touring days, and I'd never watched soaps.
Yeah.
And my only relationship to soap operas was literally because I was staying in really some shabby motels, was I'd watch the cleaning ladies turn on the TVs watching soaps. And I just thought that's who watches soaps. And when, I thought, lots of people came back and we saw you on General Hospital. So that was kind of fun. And then years later, I created the role of Maddie Russo on the series Blossom with very young Mayim Bialik. And that was great, great fun. Really
Oh
interesting.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in a company. You're in the company of, I believe, Rick Springfield was on General Hospital.
Yes,
Yep, I
exactly
think
right.
so.
So yeah,
He
so
was,
that
yeah.
is cool stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
General Hospital was it. I mean,
It
when
was
it came to the soaps, they just were.
That was one of
crazy.
DC's favorite shows, by the
That's
way.
right.
He watched that
Yes.
all the time.
Yes. Well, episodic TV is wild. It gives you a sense of community. That's
Hmm.
not your community at all, but it sort of allows you to just sort of rest your brain on these people and what they're going
That's
through.
true.
Fun.
That's true.
And I think that's one of the things about the 80s in general, like in music. Like here in Nashville, we had a station, and you may hear Rat 1 minute, followed
Yeah.
by, Johnny Cash. You just don't know who's coming up
Yeah.
next.
Or a Whitney
But
Houston
or
song.
Whitney, you just
Yeah, they
listen,
just mixed
or
it. Yeah.
Melissa may be on there singing, and you
Yeah.
just listen, and
Uh,
it didn't matter what genre you favored, everything was good.
Everything was good.
yes.
Yes.
Back
Yes. Yeah.
special times.
I really got restored as a songwriter in Nashville. I'd come to a point, something happened with the record company, and I thought, you know, I apparently I'm not supposed to do this anymore, but I don't know what else to do. So I'm just going to stand still until something happens. And I had the opportunity to write a song with the great Paul Williams. And he had just come back from Nashville. And I said, really, Nashville? And he said, oh, yes. He said, because in Nashville, they're happy that you showed up. And in LA, they want to know what you've done lately. I said, they'd be happy to know that I showed up. So I started coming down to Nashville and I started writing with magnificent writers. Magnificent. The first song I wrote in Nashville was a Christmas song that has been recorded by so many people. I wrote it with Beth Nelson Chapman and Matt Rollins called There's Still My Joy. And
Wow.
I thought, whoa, whoa. And so Nashville for quite a long time was a week out of every month. That's what I was doing.
Wow.
And I'm
And
coming back.
awesome.
Oh,
I am. I'm
fantastic.
coming back in the fall. Yes, I have just been notified, so I cannot tell you a detail, but it will be posted. I'll be somewhere on a street corner with a cup. I don't.
Will you let us know when you're on the street corner? We'll be the two bald-headed guys out there
Right.
rooting on, so it's all good.
Follow the snow.
Right. Well, there's no. It's just a
No
slick
snow
road
on
up there.
on
So.
the mountaintop.
Oh well. But
Oh well.
definitely keep us updated on that
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
because
is
we will
fantastic. Yeah.
definitely get
Yeah.
out. Yes, that's
Love
amazing.
love to
Well,
have an evening to yeah, just cherish
Yes,
your music for sure
Thank you.
in person.
Thank you.
That is fantastic. Melissa, we appreciate your time.
yes.
It has been so fun. It really has.
It's
And
been our honor.
yes,
It's
it
been
No,
our
has.
honor.
thank you very much. It's been a joy to
And
be with you.
and I do have to say, Melissa, either condolences or congratulations because you're now part of the D&D Dynamite
That's
family.
true.
So
That's
I don't know
true.
if whichever way you want to take that.
I'm pleased. Thank you.
Oh wow, yeah! But all the best to you. Safe
Thank
in
you
your
very much.
travels. I know that you travel a lot, and yeah, best to your family, and
Thank you.
Yes.
yeah, like I said, it's been a true honor for sure.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Be
And
well.
thank you, Melissa.
right.
And if you would, Melissa, would you like to share socials and
Yeah,
all where
yeah,
everybody can
yeah. Where
find
everybody
you?
can follow
Oh,
you
sure.
and all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
good
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, go ahead
Yep.
and do that.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Melissa. Thank you for joining us. Have a great
Uh,
evening.
You too. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Oh wow,
Wow, another
what an
amazing show, DC. What a
incredible show.
yes, what an amazing,
Just
amazing lady.
amazing talent.
Just an
Just
icon.
amazing
You
talent.
said
Yeah.
it at the start.
Iconic. Yeah.
Yes, and so gracious. And we were so honored to have her on the show.
Absolutely, and we appreciate Tammy joining in. And
Yes,
yeah,
Tammy,
we
thank
had
you. Safe travels going.
yes. Everybody, of course, can see the replay of this anytime that you want on YouTube,
Yes,
and we recommend you do that because
definitely.
it was an amazing interview.
Yes, like I said, it was,
we just had a great time just throwing it around a little bit,
and
so
definitely
very
our honor to
personal.
have her on. I mean, what an
Absolutely.
amazing interview.
Yep.
DC, brother. Well, it looks like we're going to
Another
wrap
great
up
one in the
another
book,
week.
man.
Oh man, we're wrapping up the week on a strong one on that. You want to go ahead
Absolutely.
and I'll do my little like I
Yeah,
always say,
yeah.
folks. It doesn't cost
Absolutely.
anything extra to be kind. So as I always throw it over to DC, I remind everybody, please be kind to everybody out there, folks. And you can find us on all the social media platforms. Watch us on YouTube, Canyon Star TV, and DC.
All right, my man. Let's get the sponsors in.
Let's do it. Let's get those sponsors rolling.
Yes, sir. D&D Dynamite 80s would like to thank their sponsors, Hudson's Flags and More, Jackie's Creations on Facebook, PJG Marketing, The Roy Band, Riley Rhodes Art Designs at rileyroads.art on Instagram, Totally Cool 80s, Charlie Bubbles Cares for Kids, The Magic Yarn Project, and Hearts for Isabella. Check out all these great folks online. Most certainly.
Yes. And folks, as we always like to mention, when we started this thing a little over 6 years ago, we said if we could ever get to the point to help out, we would love to be able to do that. We've been so fortunate to become associated with 3 organizations. We ask that if you're looking for an organization to support monetarily, prayers, thoughts, please keep these folks in all of that. The Magic Yarn Project, and what these folks do, it's volunteers all across the nation, and they hand knit head coverings and provide them for kids that are battling cancer. Makes such a huge difference for those kids and those families. Charlie Bubbles cares for kids. Our friend the Vooch, Paul Karafotis. And what they do is if you make a donation, they help provide books for kids that may not otherwise get books or have access to books. And as educators, we know how important literacy is at a young age. And Paul also writes the books, the Charlie Bubble books. And
Book series.
that's how we met and found out about Isabella. There's our sweet angel, Isabella. She had a heart condition and succumbed to it. So her parents, Paul wrote a book about it. Her parents contacted Paul and he wrote the book. And there it is right there. DC had that up. But they also started Hearts for Isabella. where they go into hospitals and help other families that are facing similar
That's awesome.
situations. So
Yeah. Yeah.
just please keep those organizations in your thoughts and prayers.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Well, my man, on Wednesday, June 3rd, our regular evening show, excited about this one. We'll have Nelson, the
Yeah,
rock duo brothers.
and not only will we have Nelson, but we'll have a special guest host.
Yeah, we'll have Tammy in the co-host
Yes.
seat. She's excited about that.
And
I
you're
think she
welcome,
mentioned
folks.
something about letting her mom meet Nelson.
Oh, amazing.
So
Okay.
that'll be awesome. We'll
Yes.
be introduced to her mom, and that'll
Awesome.
be cool stuff.
We can
So-
let Tammy and her mom host the
Take
show.
over the show.
It's,
right.
it's all good.
We'll just watch.
Right. I like that idea.
That's a pretty good idea.
I like
All
it.
right. So yeah, another great one, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very, very much appreciated her time, and
Yes.
busy lady, and man, what a great lady.
So gracious. Yes.
Yes. So yeah, for DH, got anything else?
Brother, I'm good. Let's start the
Okay.
weekend.
All right. So for DH, I am DC, and we'll see you Wednesday night with Nelson. And
Yes.
yeah, as DC always leads us out, keep playing those 80s, my friends, and we'll see you next time.
See you next show, folks.
All right.